When you have a front wheel drive car like this, you run into a little bit of slop in your drivetrain. You get wheel hop, the throttle response can seem a little bit just not as good as it could be, but you don't know until you add a motor mount. These two engine mount pieces are connected to each other, so I'm going to do them both at the same time, so you guys can do one or the other, mix it up. I have a link in the description to order either of these. Before we dive into it, let's talk about the tools you need, which I also have an Amazon link to a list, so you can find all the tools, things you need to get this job done. But let's talk about the specific ones that we need. So let's start from here. We've got our breaker bar, because these can be pretty stiff. We have our 1/2 inch ratchet. We have a 18mm on it, so we're also going to need a 21mm socket as well as a 16mm. We're going to need a 16 wrench, and then we will need a torque wrench. Just so you know, this is going to add a little bit of vibration to the cab, and it's not anything aggressive. I can already tell from my experience with previous hatches. When we dive into the passenger side motor mounts and other ones up higher in the engine, and they're attached to the chassis and the body, it does get a little bit like something you should worry about and know getting into it. But these should be pretty tame, and you get a good aggressive feeling car, but it doesn't ruin the daily aspect of it. We'll see firsthand with this as we get into it, but I can tell you that this is a beginner level thing that most of you guys should probably look into. To do this install, other than our basic tools, we are going to need the GTI to be on jack stands. If you don't know how to do that, we won't go over it in this video, but I have a link in the description to a video on the Cameron Alford 2 channel about how to exactly put up this car on jack stands safely. Looking at the stock setup, it's all right here, super simple. We're going to take off these two 16s, this 21 right here, and remove this, and then slide the two new pieces in. We've got our 21mm on our breaker bar. You could probably do that with a regular ratchet. I don't think you would need a breaker bar to get it off at least. We do not reuse these bolts because they are torque to yield, so they stretch a little bit, I would assume, and you use the supplied ones from ECS. Now we have our 16mm. At this point, if you were to do the insert, you could literally just put it in right now and then you'd be done, but since we're doing the whole thing, I'm moving on to this part. We've got our 16mm. Let's see how tight this is. Not bad. I'm excited to drive with this. It's going to be real smooth. I always love doing the rear motor mounts on the Focus ST and the Mazda. It made the car feel really, really good. And this car already kind of feels better than those did stock as far as wheel hop and engine movement and drivetrain slop. This car's really not that bad with that. Especially once I got the bigger wheels and tires. So now we got our two 16mm out of there. Now we should just be able to slide this out of there, I think. And there it is. Here's our OEM setup. I'm gonna lay it down on the table the same way. Take off my nut and bolt. Make sure these bushings and washers stay on there. It's pretty snug, it's a good thing. Work it into place. The bolt on this side. We'll snug this up on the car. Once it's in, ready to go back under, put our motor mounts in, but I want to let you guys know real quick, Karma Speed's the brand I created for you guys. We have this black on black hat on the site, camo, black and white. We have some air fresheners, jet tags, working hard. I want that to be a place where you guys don't even have to think about the videos. You just know that if you need a new shirt, maybe a jet tag, maybe some help on your car, you go to karmaspeed.com. We're working behind the scenes right now to build out the resources page of the website and stuff to help you guys. So follow us on Instagram so that you know when new stuff comes out, including products and or helpful stuff for you and your car journey to achieve your automotive goals. We have the ECS tuning facing me on the driver's side, and then we're going to want to take the thin part, and this piece slides into the bushing. So I want to leave this pocket on the bottom half. We're going to slide it into place into our Dogbone mount and our bushing. Okay, that slid into place there. Then we could take our other piece that has the ECS tuning facing down, and then we can slide it up into here. We could definitely do this on the table, but I wanted to show you the orientation, so I left it like this. Then we're gonna wanna take our zinc nut and put it on. Okay, now we need to get our new hardware. When you order your bushing insert kit for both version 1 and 2, it comes with 3 bolts for different applications because this motor transmission combo is in a lot of vehicles. So we're gonna pull out the one that matches our current bolts. So this is the one we want for our Dogbone. And another thing we need to do is lube up this bushing insert because it doesn't want to slide in unless it has something slippery on it. And it does. They do supply you with some grease to apply to all the places that, whoa, this stuff's real thick. I did not expect that. Basically everywhere that you want to slide in. Am I putting this in wrong? Oh, I'm an idiot. You gotta put this thing in first. What a concept. Huh, would you look at that? Now let's take our gloves off. There. These 2 bolts were not lining up. I got this one to get in, and then now you can see the motor moving right here? That's what this engine mount does. So when we have a stiffer bushing right here, this bushing as well as this being reinforced, that's when you get a better feeling throttle response and whatnot, because the motor torques and then it moves right here where the motor goes this way under load. Now you can visually see what's kind of going on. And when we stiffen that up, there's nowhere for the motor to go. Snugging up our 16 millimeters for the pendulum first, pull the motor into place. Take our torque wrench here in a second. Alright, now we're going to switch to our 21 millimeter. I had to grab the chrome socket because the impact ones do not actually fit in there. You can see that faceplate wants to dance around a little bit, but we'll move it. Alright, let's get our torque wrench out and get these specs dialed in. 37 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. So it's 37 foot-pounds plus 90. So I'm going to pull this breaker bar towards me. And that feels like you're going to break it, but it didn't break. Start here. Let me get my notes. The Dogbone is 96 foot-pounds. Let's turn her up. Starting to sound like my dad. Time to turn her up. Time to turn her up. My name's Dwayne Alford. My dad's in the middle of building a shop right now. That's gonna be a dream of his. I'm excited to share that with you guys and also use it. Alright, 96 foot-pounds. Dwayne Alford here. Let her eat. Alright, dear God, please don't let this thing bust. Oh gosh. No. I don't even feel comfortable going more. That'll be plenty good. Alright, so then our last one, our zinc bolt. 65 foot-pounds. I gotta turn her down. Randall, where you at, dog? I need my redneck support. 65. See, I have a lift outside, and I'm supposed to be done with this floor stuff, but I'm doing it for all my privateers out there, so we can keep doing things on the floor and you don't feel discouraged. 16 millimeter, 18 millimeter, you need an open-end wrench. We're getting her set up. Oh yeah. Well, that was awkward, but we're done.
Is to make these things all-wheel drive.
No, you get a better job and then you buy a Golf R. Thanks for filming. Make sure you put your old bolts in the trash can. time to see what these engine mounts feel like. Usually feel it in the floorboard. Feel a little bit of vibration, but nothing drastic. Yeah, I was expecting more. Ooh, I feel a little bit at low RPM right now. There's quite a bit more vibration. It usually takes 5,000 to 10,000 miles for this kind of thing to break in, and it'd be a lot smoother. I'm gonna turn the AC on. The vibration goes away once the RPM is up. Rolling up to a stoplight, you feel a little bit of vibration. That's new. But it feels really good when you get on the gas already. It's just the throttle response, it just hits right there, and you don't feel any sort of shift in the drivetrain. You don't really know what that is until you put the upgrade on, and then you notice how much smoother it is, and you go, oh. It's not that the stock setup is bad. The stock setup is really good for not having vibration in the cab and being comfortable. We'll be talking about the Unitronic overrun file. I'm sure you guys will hear that a little bit. But on D-cell, it's a little obnoxious. I'm not going to keep it on here, but it's fun for now. Listen. It's fun, but you just kind of don't want to be that guy. But right now you can feel it in your feet just shaking. It'll probably get a lot better around 5,000 to 10,000 miles from here. I'm gonna drive around for a little bit and then catch up with you guys what I think. I've driven the car about 100 miles by the time I'm editing this, and the vibration at idle is pretty much gone, and it's getting smoother day by day. I have zero regrets installing this, and I really like how it feels. When you shift from reverse to neutral to drive, sometimes you get a little bit of shake. It's nothing to worry about. I really like how the car feels now, and I'm stoked on this modification. For the price, I completely recommend it, even if you just want to try it. They finally got Apple Pay at the QT by my house to get gas. Love that. Gas here in Phoenix is $3.63. See how much it costs to fill up. This is the lowest I've ever ran it.